Gracefully and Frankly is made possible by Sierra Sil, natural supplements that guarantee you will feel a difference in the pain in your knees and other joints within 14 days of starting or your money back. It's a Canadian company, and how good is it? Well, a friend from Ajax, Ontario, came to visit last week and told me a lump on her hand, the top of her hand, is gone since starting Sierra Sil. Look, I don't get it either, but I sent Carol home with another bottle. Is this what we do after 60? Get your own bottle, and here's how.
Visit sierrasil.com, Sierra like the mountains, SIL.com, and don't forget your discount code. Get 10% off with the code GF.
We're here, episode 95, and more importantly, you're here. I'm Erin Davis.
I'm Lisa Brandt, and I didn't have any turkey, but we'll talk turkey on a whole bunch of topics this week.
Yeah, what is talking turkey anyway? I mean, we hear that so much at this time of year. We're going to talk turkey. I think that means we're getting down to brass tacks, which reminds me, what are brass tacks? And why are we getting down to them? Oh, who knows? Anyway, we are going to talk about a whole bunch of things, including something that I'm starting to get. I don't know if it's because of being alone more, but it's wanting to be alone more, and it's social anxiety, which I've never really had before.
Oh.
We'll talk about that. Lisa will stretch me out on her couch with Cuddles the cat.
And the flip side is solitude when you choose it, and how good it can be for you to get some time alone. The benefits of time on your own.
One of the things you love to do when you're alone, if you're like us, is read. And we've got a hot one for you.
And a boo basket.
Boo. No.
I thought it was all about Halloween. Turns out it's not. There's more to it than that. What would you put in your boo basket?
Oh, well, I know what I wouldn't put in yours.
What's that?
An envy pillow. You got one or two.
Absolutely. Designed by two registered nurses, the Envy Pillow, backed by chiropractors, so many people in the wellness and pro-aging community, dermatologists, plastic surgeons, estheticians, massage therapists, and me, I use it for neck support mainly. One of the main things it's used for, but it also helps reduce fine lines and wrinkles from side sleeping. The ergonomic design of this pillow is like nothing else on the market. It kills germs and bacteria. It does so many wonderful things. You've got to check it out for yourself.
You sure do. And don't be fooled by pillows that sound like it or look like it or are cheap imitators. Go to Envy, ENVY, pillow.com. Use the code GF for 10% off. So, are you through all your Thanksgiving leftovers? You didn't do turkey this year.
Not a bite of turkey, which is really weird, and I kind of miss it. I think I might make one soon.
Wow.
Yeah, we did a big meatitarian Thanksgiving. And you didn't cook a turkey, right? You went to someone else's place.
Yeah, our neighbor had 9 of us over for Thanksgiving dinner, and we contributed desserts, which I'm not going to lie, were the spectacular apple and pumpkin pies from Costco. I know my strengths, and it's using my credit card.
I hear ya.
We had leftovers. You didn't have turkey leftovers, so you get to start all over again and do your own little fest whenever you want.
My brother brought barbecue from this place that he loves, and we had leftovers like crazy, like to the point where he said, I don't want to take any of this. I'm leaving it all with you. It was like ribs and pulled pork and just anything you can think of that was barbecued. So there was a full package of ribs that hadn't been opened. I snuck it into his cooler and let him know when he was on his way home that it was there, because it's just so much meat. There's only 2 of us.
If he hadn't found it, his dog Nacho sure would have.
Oh, she's such a sweetheart.
Oh, well, you've been dining on a book that first really came to our attention a week ago when Oprah Winfrey sat down with Riley Keough, who is the daughter of Lisa Marie Presley and the granddaughter, of course, of Elvis and Priscilla. And we came to know Riley through the miniseries Daisy Jones and the Six. And I thought, okay, Nepo baby, she's going to come in here and just do a passable job. She was fantastic.
Amazing.
Really talented, yeah.
And she's talented at storytelling, too, I can tell you, because I'm just about done the book that she finished for her mom called From Here to the Great Unknown. And Lisa Marie had been working on it when she died and had asked Riley to help her thinking they had the next 10 years to complete this book. And she had recorded everything, so it's very conversational. Lisa Marie had recorded her thoughts, and there were big holes in the story of her life that Riley fills in and then offers her perspective on some things, and it's quite extraordinary.
Now, the thing that jumped out at me about this book, which is also an audiobook in which Julia Roberts narrates the voice of Lisa Marie, but there's also actual audio of Lisa Marie, who died just a couple of days after the Golden Globe Awards, and the Elvis movie took some hardware there that night. But you're doing the tablet version, and you say it's a little more challenging than the actual book version. Explain that to anybody who's thinking of buying it.
Okay, because I have a Kobo, I download the ebook, and it says at the beginning, Riley does an intro, and she says, okay, this will be my font, and this is my mother's font. So you clearly know which of them has written which part. But in the ebook, it's all the same font. It doesn't show up as different fonts. So luckily, there are little symbols to show you when there's a change of author, and it becomes clear. But it's just funny. It just looks like a book continuing, and you just have to go, oh, wait a minute. She's saying my mom and my grandmother, and so this is Riley. And yeah, it really is a remarkable book and really takes you inside. Like, I wonder, maybe the first time I saw Graceland very many years ago, I wonder if maybe Lisa Marie was upstairs or somebody was upstairs, because apparently that happened quite often.
Sounded like it.
Crazy.
Now, there were a number of things that jumped out at me from the Oprah interview, and I'm wondering, as someone who has almost completed the book as of this conversation here today, what jumped out at you? The one really big thing that's not going to leave you for a little bit.
Oh, man. I guess overall, I mean, there are a bunch of smaller things that make you go, wow, but overall, just how she never processed, she never got over the trauma of her father's death. How her father's death, Lisa Marie, of course, we're talking about Elvis, was in the driver's seat for her whole life. And it was just so devastating, and she never really got past it or learned to deal with it or come to terms with it. It's just incredibly sad in that way. What did you get from the interview?
Well, the thing that jumps out at me is the fact that Elvis, of course, lied in state at Graceland. I also learned from the interview it's not Graceland, like the song by Paul Simon. It is Graceland, as you said it. And then Lisa Marie, when her son died, did that again, but for weeks.
Yeah.
They kept his body on dry ice right there, and it's whoa. I mean, I know about not wanting to let your child's body go. I fully can relate to that, and wanting to be left, just to crawl into that box with her, or in this case with him. But sometimes sanity and saner voices will prevail.
Right.
And so I ask you, with that memory foremost for me, where was Priscilla in all this? Because the Riley and Oprah interview didn't mention Priscilla at all.
Priscilla's absent in a lot of this, and it's clear that she was not a good mom. She was more interested in having boyfriends, including a boyfriend who was very inappropriate with Lisa, and she kept the boyfriend. She was not a good mom, and she had her own issues and her own stuff that she didn't get past. And one of the things that I'm taking away from this, it's not a new phenomenon, and I'm not a genius for thinking it, but parents have to deal with their own crap before they bring kids into the world and impose their crap on their kids, because the stuff that Priscilla did only led to Lisa Marie also being so damaged, and not just her dad. I mean, her dad was the big looming force in her life, but there was just so much crap that she never felt loved. She never felt like she was important, and she really wasn't. Her mom kept shipping her off, and got to go somewhere with this boyfriend, and got to do that with that boyfriend, and I want to be a model, and I want to do this. And her child was harmed by a lot of that and started acting out. She became just a rotten kid, which I don't think would surprise anybody. We remember her in her goth phase and the drugs and everything. But, she's an addict like her dad, and that was a demon that kept coming up for her as well. But I think the reason we don't hear a lot about Priscilla, she was just a crappy mom. Although Riley, it's funny because in the book, Riley says that she remembers about 20 years of her growing up being idyllic.
Wow.
Being perfect. that her mom was just a fantastic mom. Lisa Marie was a great mom. She didn't do things that her mother did, even though she got married a bunch of times and stuff. But those kids always knew they were number one, and she chose to do some things differently.
Well, it sounds like it's really worth the read.
Yeah.
And once again, give us the title, Lisa.
From Here to the Great Unknown. And it's by Lisa Marie Presley and Riley Keough. And you know what else I got from it?
What?
Is Danny Keough, Lisa Marie's first husband, Riley's dad, is just a solid dude.
Oh.
Just a good guy. Yeah, he never left their lives, and he's the one who found Lisa Marie and tried to revive her, but it sounds like he was just a really good dad.
Yeah, and it also sounds like Lisa died of a broken heart, and of course the aftermath of all of her addictions and the things that she went through, but she didn't know how she was going to survive the death of her child, and she really didn't.
And bariatric surgery gone wrong. That was also part of it. She had bariatric surgery and there was a rupture in there. I'll tell you one more thing that's exciting to read about is her marriage to Michael Jackson. All the details, everything. And you learn more about Michael Jackson than you ever thought possible.
So did they consummate it? I know that's the question I have, and I'm sorry if it's base, but...
Oh, yeah.
They did, eh?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, they uber consummated.
They did it in a rental car?
There was consummation here, there was consummation there was consummation everywhere, yeah.
What?
But I will tell you this tidbit. He was a virgin when they got married.
Wow. Okay. All right, now I have to read it. It's dishy, and we don't usually do gossip, but hey, it's a book, and it's Oprah's book club, and she doesn't choose trash, so sounds good to me.
And it's Elvis. I mean, Elvis was one of the most enduring stories. You can go to Oklahoma right now to an In-N-Out Burger, and he will serve you at the window. I mean, I've heard it. It must be true. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So you mentioned us going over for Thanksgiving dinner, which we did to our neighbor, Kath, and she is a listener. Hi, Kath. Hi, Aaron.
Hi,
Don't know if Aaron listens. He probably just figures this is girl talk. And a lot of people do, and we don't care. We don't care who listens to Gracefully and Frankly. We're just glad you're there. But I'm having trouble the last couple of weeks, Lisa, with a kind of anxiety that I haven't had before. And I'm wondering if you have felt this, or if anyone who is listening has felt this. Maybe it's a post-COVID thing. Not that we're through COVID. My dad has just had it last week, and his place is in lockdown. But just the whole mindset of becoming more and more and more introverted. Have you found this, where going out becomes something that makes your heart race? Even for me, it's just walking the dogs. I'm finding myself, as I'm getting in the elevator with the dogs in the morning, going to myself, okay, just breathe. You know, you're just walking the dogs.
Right.
Am I taking on agoraphobia? I don't know. I'll sit back and let you analyze this. But more importantly, are other people feeling it?
You know, what COVID did for me around this was make it okay to have it, because I think I've always had it. I think that's why I drank. I drank because I had social anxiety. I drank because I didn't want to go out and be around people where things were unpredictable and who knew what would happen. And I think I'm actually becoming okay with it, and it's lessening because of that. So I still have it, definitely. You and I were texting about all the different things we had coming up, and you had quite a list of social engagements and stuff, and I had a few as well, and I was already feeling like, okay, enough people already. This, I need some time on my own. But I think because of the fact that I acknowledge it, I'm better with it. And I go, okay, I can just get through this. And I'm okay with being, some people would call it selfish. I don't. Keeping time to myself and making sure I have time to myself and not wanting to give too much of it away. But I don't get anxiety from it. Like I don't get a raised heartbeat and stuff like that. Do you stop and think, okay, what am I really concerned about, or how do you handle it?
Well, I guess the first thing I think is, this is insane. What is wrong with you? The second thing is, I look at myself and I think, okay, my hair doesn't look good. I've got maskne from wearing a mask on the plane coming back from Ontario, and it's persistent, or maybe it's the actual spa masks I've been trying. That's the other kind of maskne that I get. Stupid sensitive skin. And I know I don't look good, and I could put on lipstick, but I'm just walking the dog. So there's this great internal dialogue that's saying, what is wrong with you? And something else further to what you were saying about choosing to spend time alone, I find it difficult to give people explanations as to why, no, I don't just want to meet up for a coffee, or I don't just want to go out. I don't want to visit right now. I feel like I need to make an excuse, or people are going to stop asking, and then I'll be saying, poor me, I'm so lonely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
My happy place is in bed in my nightshirt with my laptop, either writing or working or watching ancient television on the PVR. And I feel like I need to put on makeup. I need to be presentable when I go out, no matter what. I think we just put too much pressure on ourselves.
I pick up two things, and I'm not a therapist, but I will play one on the podcast.
You've paid for enough of them that you can be. I trust you.
No. But one of the differences with me is I don't criticize myself and go, what's wrong with you? Why are you like that? I go, okay. I look at myself like I'm in a petri dish, and I go, wow, isn't that interesting that experiment there is behaving this way? And try and unpack it that way instead of feeling like it ought to be something else. Because if you don't accept it, I don't know how you're ever going to be able to deal with it, because it's something that's naturally happening. You're obviously not doing consciously, so it's part of you. And I mean, everything that happens for a reason with you and with me and with everybody else, and there's something fueling it or there's something underneath it, but it's all got to be okay, and it is okay. And number two, as far as looking, you did a post about playing with your dogs when you got home, and at the end of the post, it said something about getting your roots done. I never even noticed your roots. Never even occurred to me that you had roots. Didn't even cross my mind. I thought, look at this happy dogs and this happy woman having a reunion. And I've started to care more about what I look like when I go out. I mean, during the pandemic, oh my goodness, did not care. As long as it was stretchy and didn't have food on it, it was pretty
And had
much
pockets.
Okay, and had pockets.
This is when we started to revolutionize pants and
Right.
tops. We need pockets. That's all we have to say about that.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but the less I am concerned about that stuff, the more I seem to be okay with how I am. I do put makeup on. I've got some good makeup now, which I've probably never really had in my life, to tell you the truth. We've got the same thing to a degree. It might be something we just might have to accept. I know.
Yeah. I'll talk about it with my new therapist. So, and it's clicking and it's really great.
Oh,
so
good.
It's to deal with depression and anger and all that kind of fun stuff that hopefully our listeners don't hear, but that we talk about just so that, you're not alone. When you are alone, I've looked at some studies that have said that the time that we spend alone avoiding unfulfilling social obligations, solitude is helping us regulate our moods and relax. And we're not to confuse social isolation with loneliness. I think the older you get, and not just because it's more wrinkly and loose, the more comfortable in our own skin we get. And isn't that a wonderful thing? Time to dive into those old shows or wonderful series like Netflix, The Perfect Couple with Nicole Kidman and Liev Schreiber, which I loved, or the book by Riley Keough and her mother. I mean, just taking time for you.
Yeah.
And isn't that what fall is all about? We start to cocoon now more and to move inward and just say, okay, this time is for me and my fuzzy slippers, and if I choose not to wear makeup, I'm not gonna.
Right. You've got your poop picking up face on,
That's right.
If you're out walking the dogs. Let's be clear, out walking the dogs. You know what I thought about? We were talking about solitude now, and men are from Mars, women are from Venus thing, where the men go into the cave after you've had a fight or whatever. And how smart that is, because they go into a solo area and don't want to be disturbed, so they can figure it out and process it in their own heads. And because it's a choice, it's not loneliness, it's solitude. And that's, I think, where much of the difference is. When you choose, I will lie, Erin. If somebody wants me to do something and I've already got too much going on, I will say, no, I just can't make it. And I just leave it at that. I do the same with work. If I'm out grocery shopping and somebody says, hey, can I get you to do this right now? I'll say, I can do it in an hour. I'm busy with another client right now. Well, that client is me.
Good for you.
Yeah, and I think it's a little white lie. It doesn't hurt anybody. It's a me first lie, right?
Yeah, it's me time. You are your client. When are we going to stop putting ourselves second all the time? Well, maybe that's what we're starting to do. And being alone, that solitude that we are talking about, there was a story in Wellness in the Washington Post that said that it's not necessarily a bad thing. Instead, it's a time for you to lean into the things that feed your soul.
There was a study in 2019, and they looked at adults 65 and over, and every 3 hours for 5 days, researchers asked these people about their mood and social interactions. And the study's lead author says the people, when they had time alone, they had lower positive and negative effects, meaning they didn't have irritation. They were away from people who caused them any anxiety or emotions. So they didn't have strong emotions on either end, but they didn't feel lonelier. So that makes sense that being around other people will bring you that massive joy.
Sparking off other people, having conversations, laughter, different perspectives, that's irreplaceable. You can't do that on your own.
Right. So it's almost like when they put you on an antidepressant, okay, we're going to get rid of your lows, but we might get rid of some of your highs too. Mm-hmm. But that's okay if it's a choice and it's something you need. I need it. I find sometimes things just get too peoply. And I actually crave time on my own, even if I don't do anything spectacular, just by myself. Derek's the same way, though, so it actually works out really well.
So you're going to tell me when you need time alone when I'm at your house for a couple of days at the end of October, right?
But you know what? That's different because It's not a whole bunch of different people and different activities. I'm looking forward to you coming here, and I don't get this kind of concentrated time with you all the time. So I think that's different. And you can always go, hey, you know what? I'm going to go read for a while. And if I did, I absolutely would, but I can't imagine it happening.
I can't either. And I do love the sign that she put up on the bedroom door in your house. You can explain it. Take a picture of it. We got to put it on our Facebook page.
I will. Well, you asked for it because I said I was going to call it Erin's room, and you said, no, Erin B&B. And that's what it is. It's an Airbnb.
Oh, and we should mention that while we are together at the end of the month, I'm flying into Toronto to host an event. And then we're going to head off to your place. But I think we're going to try and do a Facebook Live on Friday, November 1st, All Saints Day. We are going to be doing a Facebook Live.
Yep.
We want to make sure that you're available, and we'll do it at like 7 o'clock in the east, 4 o'clock in the west. And hopefully that doesn't get in the way of your dateline or your date night or anything like that. But we would love for you to take part. And this will be different because it's from your place this time.
Super easy, no problems. We'll pick a room that we could even be in the Airbnb with Envy pillows. We can do whatever we want here. So that is November the 1st. It's a Friday, 7 p.m. Just like last time, log on our Facebook page, Gracefully and Frankly, and join us.
Yeah, write it on your calendar in the kitchen or put it in your phone or your iPad or whatever device, your computer. Just make sure you join us at 7 Eastern on Friday, November the 1st. We can't wait to talk to you. And maybe by then, Lisa, I'll have a sold sign on the house. But honest to goodness, I thought for sure last week the stars were aligned. I had asked for a special song on Sirius XM in my mind. I didn't call in or anything like that.
Right.
It came on. The continuing story of Bungalow Bill. I thought I need one song about a house, the only Beatles one I can think of. And it played, and I thought, this is it. No, wasn't it. We had a couple came in 3 times, and we thought, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
It ain't it. I just don't know. I'm done with signs.
Okay.
Would you believe me if I said that?
Probably not, but that's okay.
No.
You're done with these signs. You're done with these signs.
Right.
There'll be new signs, and that's okay. Something is going to happen. How long has it been up now?
First week of June. So let's say 5 months.
Okay. All right. It's time.
Yeah.
You know, the same thing is happening here. We have a couple of neighbors who have their places up for sale and have had zero activity or very little activity, and they're just not selling right now. So the market's got to change. Some more interest rate drops have to happen and a bunch of other things I'm probably not aware of.
I don't know. I won't bother checking my horoscope to see what else is going to happen, though, okay? I will lean into sanity just this once. Just this once.
Hey, are you making a boo basket for Rob for Halloween?
No, I'm not, but they're a thing. Boo baskets, boo bags.
Well, you told me about this. Where you heard about this from your daughter-in-law, right?
Right, and it's not necessarily boo as in Halloween, although it could be. It's boo as in you're my boo, you're my bestie, you're my best friend, you're my sweetheart, my kid, not my mother-in-law, as it turns out. I didn't get one, but that's a boo basket. Everybody's doing this. It's a TikTok thing, and it's kind of a no occasion, and you can do it anytime, and it's just like when you collect things through the year, and maybe it wouldn't be right for stockings or for Christmas or for birthdays, but just little things to say, hey, I love you. You might like this puzzle, or you might like these socks, or these soaps, or this body lotion, or I don't know what your boo basket for a guy would be, but it might be a couple of his favorite chocolate bars or a can of nuts or something. I don't even know. But anyway, It's a thing. Right. And you can look it up, boo basket or boo bag or whatever you want. Not poo bag. Don't make that mistake. I did that. But anyway.
I'll tell you what I put in one for Derek.
Okay.
Popcorn.
Yes.
Peanut butter M&Ms.
Mm-hmm.
Pair of NASCAR-themed pajama pants.
Ooh.
And a box of Gas X. And that would be my boo basket.
I'm going to guess the Gas X isn't something you put in your tank. It's something that you ingest, right?
It's something he would eat.
That's nice.
For the love of goodness, please. He saw an article that said couples who fart in front of each other are closer over time or something. I'm like, oh my goodness, when do you have time to write this article? Oh,
I hadn't even thought of what I would put in Rob's, but it would probably be a lip chap, which is what they're calling chapsticks and that sort of thing now. What else? Probably a nice set of cotton socks, something that encourages his hockey, and a certificate for a hockey night in Canada where I'm not busy watching the clock to see when it's over. Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, as we head off into this weekend after a mercifully short week, thank you so much for joining us here on Gracefully and Frankly. And Lisa, it's been a pleasure, and we're counting down to the days that we meet up and have a sleepover at a hotel. And then our Toronto adventure ends, and off we go to the nice serenity and quiet and solitude of your place in Port Stanley. So I am looking forward to that very much.
Excellent. We're looking forward to having you. And the tourists are mostly gone.
Oh, good.
Lots of quiet walks.
So no tour buses going by your house looking for us? Good. That's great to hear.
Yes, not anymore. We put up with it all summer long. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like Graceland here.
That's right.
But unlike Elvis, we never hit return to sender on an email to Gracefully and Frankly. And you've got one to share with us, Lisa.
Yeah, this one comes from Kathy. And Kathy placed an order for a couple more pendants, the heart pendants that we now have on an Etsy store if you want to search for and bookmark, because other stuff will be coming. Back to the email.
Yes.
She sent this email. She had purchased 3 pendants, one for herself, one for her daughter, and one for her granddaughter. And her mom is just turning 90. And so her daughter suggested getting one for her so they could have a 4-generation picture with the Gracefully and Frankly pendants on everybody.
Wow.
So that's 4 pendants, but then she wrote to me and said, oh, no, it's got to be 5 because her 8-year-old grandson wanted to know why she didn't buy him one.
Aww.
So she got him one as well. Isn't that the best?
It absolutely is. Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so our email is gracefullyfrankly@gmail.com, and we just love to share messages like that with everybody. So thanks to you for being in touch. Have a terrific weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, November 1st, 7 Eastern Time. Join us for Facebook Live.
Thanks again, Envy Pillow and Sierra Sil. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.